So it is a natural, a logical consequence that we should expect, and we should get A's from you at the end of your 4 years. But getting an A is never easy for the majority of us. Very few of us will get A's without making efforts. We also did exams, we struggled through. If I never struggled with my study, I would never have passed. I knew I needed to struggle. And in my class, actually in my whole school, we did not have anybody who passed without training. And therefore, if we have a person here who does exams and without effort, just fights getting an A, that is an exception. The majority of us will require and will appreciate support. And that's why even as we push you to work hard, even as we encourage you to work hard, we know it requires a lot of sacrifice, it requires a lot of resilience. It requires also proper equipping so that you know how best to make use of your 1 hour study time and be able to tell your neighbor that this is what I was studying and I am okay now. And because we appreciate that you require that support, that's why we have year in, year out, invited one Dr. Wang to come and assist us on the best way to manage our revision and our study time. And we have always been very, very grateful that he has never missed any time when we have invited him. And there is still a lot of movement, body movement, and mouth movement. And we said, if you are seated to a person who every time is pitching you, nudging you, whispering something to you, that is a messenger of Satan, who is determined to see you fail. And so far, I have not complained about the phones. And I know you have them. The moment I'll have reason to complain about your phones and the way you manage them, you know I'll ban them from coming to this hall. And I don't know where you will keep them. So if you have a phone, it must be on switched off mode, not even silent. Like I can hear one screaming here because it is not properly charged. I can hear on my left here. So all phones must be switched off. If you don't, and if we collect any phone from you, it will not come. It is good to keep friends of good people, doctors, professors. But when you keep the company of standard 8 dropout, hang around in the village, you are finished. For me, I'm not a doctor, so I look out for the company of doctors. If you're in high school, you look out for the company of a university student. That's called progress. And at the end of it all, he has authored one of the, I haven't seen a revision book like the one which I have seen with Dr. Wango, authored by Dr. Wango. And I know in the course of his presentation, he will be assisting us on how best to make use of this book, because he will not follow you to your schools. And possibly, if you find this book interesting and you want your branch manager to buy for you, I'll give an express approval so that you get a copy of this if you like it. So, Dr. Wango, these are approximately 3,900 Form 2s and 3s. You recall you spoke to the Form 4s in April, and you'll speak to the Form 1s in November when they close. So I want to tell you are most welcome to share with them on how best to make use of your study time. Karibu sana.
Thank you very much for that wonderful welcome, Mr. Kifiro. Scholars, invited guests, and others with us, and your mentors. Good afternoon. Good afternoon once more. I'm happy to know that most of you are in Form 2 and 3, and that really gives us an opportunity to learn a few things. It's actually in Form 2 and 3 that you get lost in school. And the reason why you get lost in school is because in Form 2 and 3, you tend to miss out on a very important part of your life. And it is because you tend to concentrate on other aspects of your life, and you forget about the reason why you are in school. And the reason why you are in school is because of your studies. And that is why today we are going to go back to something we had learned, and I'll make sure that I emphasize it on study skills. And the purpose why we want to do this is because, this okay. It's because I'm trying to get where the, yeah. Okay. I don't know which way. Oh, why is it? Oh, it's on this side there. It's on this side. Okay, thanks. Okay, thank you. I've got it. So the major part of us, of us, is for us to be able to learn something about our studies. And that's why we want to look at study skills. And what I want you to do is two things, like Mr. Kibiru has always insisted, and I really like the way he cares for you. Try to look at the PowerPoint so that you can learn new words. And then try to listen to me at the same time so that I can show you how to concentrate on two things at the same time. Now, as a student, you are likely to face a few challenges. And it is wonderful that Equity program ensures that you do not face as many challenges as possible. But despite these challenges, it is possible for you to do well. There are two kinds of students here. There are those who do very well and get very good marks. And thank you for that. There are those who have a few challenges in doing well in your exams. And I want you to learn something very important. To study is a process, but the process takes time and effort. And today, we are going to talk about a major part of it, which is your commitment to your studies. And the commitment comes aloud because you want to learn something and to study. Now, good study habits is equal to good grades. If you want to have good grades, you must learn the study habits. And the study habits come about by learning something we call a skill. Some of you know how to ride a bicycle, isn't it? Now, other than learning how to ride a bicycle, you know how to write, isn't it? Now, the way you learn how to write is because you use your hands. And there's a way you place the hand and you write. So study skills is about acquiring a skill. Now, the skill helps you to be able to do well. And the skill helps you to be able to get memory into your brain. Why do you need the memory in your brain? You need to study something for you to remove it back. And that's why we talk about a skill. Now, let's go to ask ourselves, how can you get this particular skill? And the skill comes with effort. And I want you to see two things here. Number one, you need to concentrate with your studies when you are in class. And when I look at the way you are seated, and that's why I like the Equity scorers, I see the way you are serious and looking at the PowerPoint. And you can see the girl and the boy in the PowerPoint. They are concentrating. And there's a way they are holding the pen, and there is a way they are looking at the teacher. The eyes have to move between the teacher and the pen. And therefore, you have to also avoid being tired. I was liking the way Mr. Kibiru was telling you, make sure you are comfortable and seated comfortably. Because he knows if you're not comfortable, you are likely to get tired or get a backache. So once you're comfortable, you need to be very careful with your sitting position and the posture. And I like the way most of you are seated because I can see from here. Last time we agreed nobody should be having their hands on the head, and the head being held by the neck. And the legs, I can see most of the people are seated well. You don't have to fold your legs. You can actually straighten them straight. And then the eyes, where are the eyes? And last time, we learned something about three things: the mind, the eye, and the heart. The mind, the eye, and the heart, so that they are well coordinated. And then the way you hold your pen. Look at the way you are holding your pen, so that you can be able to hold it correctly. And then your handwriting. You know, there are people with handwritings that can't be seen, that cannot be read. Okay? And this becomes significant because even when you write an answer, the teacher is actually unable to read your answer. Now, let's ask ourselves how we can do some of this so that we can be able to tell a bit of it. Now, first, you are supposed to sit comfortably and lean slightly forward. Now, I want you to look at the two. What I've tried to do is light for you, at the same time point it out for you, so that we can be able to follow so easily. You see, you sit comfortably, and then you lean slightly forward. You lean slightly forward. You can see. So don't bend the neck too much or the back too much. Now, do not bend back too much, as this can strain you. Then the other thing is, you must learn to sit near the table or the desk. Now, look at the way the two are seated, okay? You sit near so that you don't stretch your hands or the eyes to see what you are writing. You must be able to see what you are writing. Then your feet, the legs, they must rest firmly on the ground, okay? So if you rest very carefully on the ground, you are able to rest with your legs, so the legs support you, the back supports you, and then the hands and the body is able to be supported. And I want you to see the two reading. You can actually read with the book down. The other one is reading, holding the book. And you can see the effect of it. They are able to concentrate. Now, this now tells you what it means. The first is the sitting posture, the position, the way you sit, and the way that you concentrate, so that you can be able to concentrate on your studies. Now, the position also is very, very important because of the pen. The pen, the pencil, or the drawing pen. So you use one hand to hold the book or the pencil, and the other one, to use one hand to hold the pen or the pencil, and the other one holds the book. Now, when you're doing an examination, you do the same thing. One hand holds the pen, the other hand holds the question paper. Now, this is now where the eye and coordination is very, very important. During class, your eyes must focus on must move between the teacher and your notes. During the exam, you must move between the exam paper and where you are writing. Now, during private study, you must be able to listen to the student doing the presentation and at the same time make a few notes. Why? Because making notes is very, very important as part of your studies. Okay? Now, I like Equity Foundation. It makes sure that you have a good pen or a pencil. Why is it important for you to have a nice pen? Because the pen enables you to write nicely. Now, how do you hold a pen? I want you to look at the two students and the way they are holding the pen. And then you can see the way they are holding the pen. And now you can see the table. You can see how near they are to the table. And then you can see how the pen is. You hold the pen a short distance away from the tip. Those of you who can be able to see me, this is the way you hold the pen. You see? You don't hold the pen this way. This way you end up writing very badly. Okay? This way you hold it very badly. You hold the pen near here. You see? Slightly near the tip, and then it is near here. Okay? So you see, now if I was to write, you see, when you hold it this way, you can be able to write this way. When you hold it this way, you see, you will not be able to scramble whatever you want to write so well. So you bring it nearer this way. Even if you hold a pen this way, it still has to be near. There are some people who hold a pen this way, some this way. Because I'm trying, the good thing is I'm trying also to look at all of you the way you hold a pen, yes. That one holds like, this one holding this way, okay? But the idea is it has to be near the tip. Now, this makes it possible for you to shape letters and make a drawing. Okay? Now, hold the pencil backwards, slightly backwards. I think I have demonstrated that. Why? So that you can be able to manipulate it. You can be able to write what you want. Now, it is important that you don't have a pen that is leaking ink. You know there are some people with pens that pours all the ink on the paper, and this is their question paper. And then you spoil the whole book or the whole of your question paper. Now, remember what I have talked about, very, very important. Last time I taught you about the eye, and today I will emphasize a bit. It is important because the mind is a very important, the mind is like a computer, and it works automatically. When you focus on the teacher, you are telling the mind, I would like to concentrate. When you move away from the teacher, you are unable to concentrate. I would like you, let's take a minute and try this. I would like you to look at anything in this room. Anything. Pick anything that you like. Anything, even if you want to look at me or the TV. Pick anything for 1 second, quickly and back. Now, what do you notice when you look at it? When you look at anything, I was looking at the flowers in front. You focus on their beauty. The eye is starting to look. How do they look like? You see, the mind concentrates. What am I looking at? So the mind starts processing what you are looking at. When you're looking at the teacher, the mind focuses on the teacher and what the teacher is saying. When the teacher is drawing a diagram, you focus on the diagram that the teacher is drawing. When you look away from the teacher, your mind moves away from the teacher. So that is why it is important for you to be able to focus your mind on what you are doing by focusing your eye. When you are in your private study, look at the notes. Last time we agreed on this very carefully. We agreed that when you are making notes, you make notes and then you move, you also make more notes. Why? It enables the mind memorize twice. Now, in a study group, look at the person making or speaking. The person is saying something. You must be able to look at them. Now, notice very, very important things, like drawing the map. Drawing the map. Look at the way terms are, the way you write terms. I was going to think of biology. Osmosis. Osmosis. There's a difference between osmosis and what? Diffusion or diffusion? Diffusion. Okay, you know you are the younger people. Okay. Photosynthesis, is it? Yes. How do you write the word photosynthesis? PH. And photo then synthesis. Okay. Let's go to chemistry. Hydrogen. Hydrogen what? What are some of the chemicals you use in chemistry? Even if you are in Form 2, you must have been introduced to the periodic table, isn't it? You have also been introduced to chemicals, isn't it? Hydrogen. Okay, what is the formula for hydrogen chloride? Form 2s? Form 3s? No. Is it hydrogen chloride? What is the formula? Now, so when you're listening to the person doing a presentation, you need to listen to what the person is saying so that you can be able to tell what they are talking about. Good. Now, so remember these three. Keep looking at the person speaking. In class, you must keep looking at the teacher. In the private study, you must be able to look at your book. In a study group, you must focus on the person doing the presentation. Now, there are certain things I would like you to remember, even if you must forget anything else. And what I did when I was preparing the presentation, I decided to write them down for you, these 10. Look at number 1. Ensure correct spelling of words. Yes, this is very important in your composition and even in Kiswahili. Because we also check on the correct spelling of words. Some students fail an exam simply because of simple spelling errors. Now, I write the second one. collect diagrams and illustrations. The question is asking, with the aid of a diagram, 3, proper size and shape of letters. Things like capital letters. You know, I like the way you keep, as a teacher, you keep saying capital letter, small letter. 4, it is good for you to know how to write, where I'm seated. Mr. Kibiro, although you are saying the boys are not your good friends, I am sitting next to so many nice boys, and I can see the way they are writing with very nice handwriting. I'm very impressed. On my right, yes, they are writing very nicely. And what I like is the way, like I can see one of them, you can actually follow the way he's writing. You skip up, when you reach the end of a paragraph, you move to the next paragraph. Very good. You will be very good. Yes, this is good. And I'm so happy. Now, the punctuation marks. You know, even from where I am, I can see the punctuation marks. The capital letters, the commas, the question mark, the full stop. Now, the headings and the subheadings. One can tell this is study skills. And I can see, even the way people are writing notes, you can tell writing this way, heading. Then, the other good, important thing is numbering your items. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Diagram 1, diagram 2, diagram 3, diagram 4, and 5. Then accurate symbols. Okay? How do you use them? Okay? And then, of course, accurate grammatical sentences. Okay? Very, very important. Now, these 10 are very important. And I would like to emphasize something on time and timing. Why do I want to talk about time and timing? One of the ways you want to test your personality, and this is why that's why Equity calls this preparing ethical leaders for a global society. If you want to be very good in your future life, I would like to encourage you to learn to keep time. Why is time important? Time and timing are important at school and at home. You must have a time for everything. And I think I have given you 4 of them there. There must be time to attend class. You must have time to read. Last time, someone asked me, what about extracurricular activities? It is good for you to take part in extracurricular activities. But it is also important for you to remember to have time for examinations and reading for examinations. Be very, very careful with the time. Now that you are going home for the holidays, you must also remember that you must make good use of the time at school. Yeah, okay, yes, okay. And then, you must have time for examinations. That is very important. Now, I wanted us to remember 3 things so that you can tell me the 3 things that you have learned now. One is something we call class attendance. The other one is something we call note-taking. And the other one is revision. So I want us to look at these 3 so that we can remember them. Okay? Now, 1, class attendance. I want you to see my friend there trying to do an experiment. It is important that you attend class. But other than attending class, you must be able to listen to the teacher. Now, what is listening to the teacher? How many are hearing me? Put up your hand if you are hearing me. Okay. How many are listening to me? Put up your hand if you are listening to me. What is the difference between hearing and listening? One, you hear with the ears, isn't it? But you listen with the mind, isn't it? Very good. Now, when you attend class, make sure that you are listening to the teacher. Now, how do you listen to the teacher? You listen to the teacher by paying attention. You listen to the teacher by paying attention. Now, I wanted to request them we get the other PowerPoint. I wanted to request we get the other PowerPoint for 1 second. Yeah, and then I show you what it means to listen. We will do a PowerPoint that I'm going to use to show you something very, very interesting. Okay? Yeah, it's called defective, yeah. if you can be able to get it. Okay? Now, what I'm going to do with this PowerPoint, I'm going to run some slides. Okay? Then when I run the slides, I want you to write 5 things that you are going to see. Okay? Okay? Are we ready? Are we ready? Okay. Let's stretch our hearts so that we are ready. Put up your hearts up a bit. You stretch a bit. One more. Very good. Now, okay. This is supposed to make your afternoon happier. Okay. Now, I want you to notice 10 things. Okay? Then you write them down. So you don't write them when I'm showing you. You have to look and then you write them down. Ready? Okay. So slide 1. Okay. 2, 3, 4, 5. Finished. Write 5 things that you saw. Is that simple? Write 5 things that you saw. 5. Oh, Mr. Kibiru, you should look at this. There are some who are so good, they're even doing it with the finger. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now I can see last time what I taught you, how to memorize. Some of you can remember. 5 things. Have you done them? Okay then. Quickly. Let's get them. Now, Mr. Kibiru, how do you get answers from them? You have microphones, okay. We should be having someone on the first microphone to say the answer. Something that you saw? Hiya. Even my friend here who did 5 so fast. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Very fast. Let's do it very fast. 5 things that you saw. There's nobody daring enough to say. Yes, okay. 5 things that you saw.
Afternoon, everyone. I'm Beatrice from Rimur Girls, Form 3. And I saw flowers, fruits, people lifting their hands. Then I also saw a person who was standing, doing studies with so many books on his side. Then there was people who were running on athletics.
Very good. 5. Mr. Kibiru, did she get them right? Okay. We want also a boy to say. A boy now, 1 boy. And we only count up to 3. 1. Okay, good.
I saw books. There were flowers, some students, fruits, and some mountains.
Did you get 5, Mr. Kibiru? Well, 4.
Books, flowers, students, fruits, and mountains.
Mountains, okay.
Yep.
Now, very good. Also, let's clap for him. Now, what was so interesting about what the girl said? The girl gave details. Did you notice? Now, because the 2 of you have done very well, Mr. Kibiru will give each of you a copy of my book. So come for them. So come for them right now. He will present them right now. Free of charge. Yes, so that they can be able to. Yeah, yes, okay. And then a camera, yes. Okay. Yes, okay. Hey, it's the girl who said it first. Okay? Well. Okay. Free of charge. You don't have to pay anything. Okay. 1. Very good. Yes. Okay. Very nice. And another one. Come. Yes. Very good. Yes. Then we all clap for them so that next time you can work harder. Now, let's look at that PowerPoint. What is so unique about this PowerPoint? And thank you for giving us the PowerPoint. Let's go back to it and ask ourselves 1 or 2 things, if you allow me. The second one. Now, what I wanted you to notice is the effectiveness of our power of observation. Okay? Now, what I wanted you to notice, and that's why I say the girl did very well, is what do you notice? Look at these children. The first thing you need to notice is they are children, and two, they are playing a game of going loud. You need to, unless you're looking, you can't see. Now, quick observation, you must see and register. Two, these are children who are in class. Maybe they have put up their hands. So the first group is different from the second one. The third one is on students most probably sitting for their examination. Why? Because they seem to be very busy and looking down. Power of observation. These could most probably have graduated. This one, you did very well. There's a student seated in the middle trying to find out which book to read. Yes. 6, look at this one. This is a boy who's not paying attention to the teacher. So he's looking the other way while the teacher is the other way. Okay? And then this one was on sports. Yes. This is a person who has won, and most probably he has the flag up, showing that he has won and he's celebrating. And it's remarkable that only 2 people have the flag and 1 does not have. Powers of observation. You need to be very careful with observing. Then the next one is on flowers. Very good. Maybe you could notice even the color. Then the next one is on a tree. Look at the way it is. And then it's down there, and sometimes when I put it, some people are able to even notice there is a gate. This is the power of observation. This is what makes you a good student. When the teacher is teaching, what do you see? That's why sometimes when the teacher has been teaching, you ask some people, what did you see? Nothing. Yeah, because these are fruits, very good. Even the boy got it, fruits. But in fact, if you are very good with the fruits, you can even tell which fruits are there. An apple, a sweet melon, a banana, and grapes. You see, can you even be able to tell? And then the last one, of course, is the nice flowers done in a nice way. Very good. Now, thank you so much. Now you can continue the PowerPoint. What are we learning today? You see, it is the way you coordinate the body, the mind, and your heart that makes your presentation worthwhile. Because you see, that makes you very wonderful in class. And that's what makes you learn and get the maximum from the teachers. That is why paying attention, listening is paying attention to what the teacher is saying. I wanted you to look at this particular picture. And I want you to see the way the students are. These are the ideal students. If you are seated like this, then you are very good. And I want you to see the support. Look at the legs, okay? You have to place the legs down nicely and sit comfortably so that you can be able to support yourself. Now, other than that, it is important for you to take notes in class. Now, why do you take notes in class? The teacher will explain several concepts and formulas. Now, by the way, who can tell me what is a formula? A formula is a relationship between 2 things. Like when you say volume is equal to, what is how do you calculate the volume of a cylinder? Pi r squared. Very good. The teacher is going to explain, this is the way you calculate the volume of a cylinder. This is the way you calculate the volume of a container. Now, the teacher will also give small notes. The teacher will also provide class activities. Now, let me say this about class activities. I had a distinction 1 in mathematics. And a student keep asking me, how did you get a distinction 1 in mathematics? It's very simple. And I think I've put a few slides on mathematics. If you want to do well in class, you must be concentrating on what the teacher is saying. Now, it is very simple. If you don't know what is 2 plus 2, you will never know what is 4 divided by 2. And you will never know what is 4 minus 2. If you don't know the first formula that the teacher taught, you will never get the second one. So if you miss the first one, you miss the second one. And this is why I want to emphasize something, because you are in Form 2 and Form 3. Form 2 and Form 3 is a major transition period in our lives. When you're in Form 2 and Form 3, you are learning so many things and you are encountering so many people. Among the people you encounter are good friends and not so good friends. Most of them will distract you from your studies. Some will tell you, it is very, very important for you to take drugs. You should eat a bit of mera. When you eat mera, you stay awake. That is not true. Drugs spoil your body. They spoil your brain. They make you unable to concentrate. There will be others who will tell you that reading and studying hard are not important. Now, most of these people, I like the way Mr. Kibiru said, some of you listen to the wrong people. Most of the people who tell you doing studies is not important have never been to school. In fact, some have never been to university. Now, what is happening in Kenya and the world today is that there is a lot of competition for people to perform well. And therefore, you need to learn to perform well and work hard to perform well. And you must have character. Now, that's why it is important for you to be able to listen and pay attention. Now, this is also important also for you. Now, I would like you to see some of these students. Like I wanted you to see this one with the legs straightly behind. Yeah, with the legs straightly behind. That one will get tired. But the ones with the legs straightly in front will not get tired because you see, you are stable and the way you sit is stable. Now, one of the ways to know how you are doing well is for you to see what you do before the class, what you do during class, and what you do after the class. It's a 3-stage process. What do you do before the class? What are you usually doing before the next class? And what do you do when you're in class and the teacher is in class? Now, now, the first thing you need to do before the class is, not during the class, before the class is you need to review the notes from the previous lesson. Last time I emphasized a lot to do with this. And I said, and I was surprised, I went to give a talk to one of the schools, and I found some of the scholars there. And I found they had been telling their friends this. Before the class, you should be knowing which is the next subject. Now, we have been having a biology class. The chemistry teacher is coming. You don't know even where your chemistry book is. You need to know what is the next class coming. And you should have completed all the homework, the assignments, and all the work that you had been given. And you should have the notes ready. And you should have an extra pen and a pencil. Now, so that when you come to class and during the class, you can be able to notice certain very important things that I would like us to say. For instance, the teacher will say, this is very, very important. Remember, note the difference between, note the parts of the brain. Concentrate on what the teacher is drawing, pointing, lighting, and examples. Now, give me an example of 2 lakes found in the Rift Valley. 2 lakes found in the Rift Valley. That would be Lake Naivasha, Lake Elementaita. Notice, now, the teacher will say this. Notice these are lakes found in the Rift Valley. So, be very, very careful with the example that the teacher gives. Now, when the teacher gives the example, you must note it carefully. You must also note what the teacher is saying and connecting which points with which ones. Form 3, most of the students are doing the more concept. You must be able to tell what is the more concept. And that's why in the study, I have put for you a lab here. And there's a reason why I put this purposely for you. I was told that there will be Form 2s here. Most Form 2s don't pay attention to small things like what the teacher is saying. In the lab, the teacher is going to give you, there will be diagrams, including maps. In the laboratory, the teacher will show you how to conduct the experiment. This is not the time for you to play with your friend. This is the time for you to pay attention to what the teacher is saying. The teacher will be saying, notice the reaction of, okay? Notice the reaction of, okay? Notice the way I connect in physics. The teacher will be saying, we are learning electromagnetism. Is that true? Yes. And the teacher will be saying, I want you to see the way I am connecting. You need to pay careful attention to what the teacher is saying. The teacher will also say, after I've mixed this liquid with this one, I will pick a blue litmus paper or a red litmus paper, and then I will test for alkalinity or acidity. Is that okay? Is that true? Now, which one is the teacher doing? You need to be very, very careful. And that is why students who perform very well in Form 2 and 3 have no difficulty in their Form 4, because most of the concepts are already with them. And that is why this is an opportunity for you to change your life for the better. Now, having said this, what about taking notes in class? The other time we did a lot of this. We said you must be able to write notes, which today I'm surprised, Mwalim, the notes taking has really improved despite the PowerPoint. And also, you must be able to draw the diagram. Now, this is the trick. If you draw the wrong, the inaccurate, let me put it that way. If you don't draw the diagram correctly, you keep drawing the same diagram in the exam. And that is why some people keep saying, I read a lot and I don't pass in my exams. Why? Your diagram is not correctly done. So make sure that you note down information, including diagrams, examples, and formulas that are correct. The other time I gave you an example. How are Brock mountains formed? Your diagrams must be, that is in geography, your diagram must be on Brock mountains, not volcanic mountains. You can also underline in your notes sentences that you find very, very important, and you can ask your friend or the teacher. Now, taking notes in class also means that if you have got nice notes, you will be able to revise or do some revision and do the assignment correctly. Last time I told you something very, very important. The mind memorizes something in two ways. It has a short-term memory and a long-term memory. The short-term memory takes about 72 hours. Why? Immediately your brain sees something, it records it. After some time, it decides that it is not important and will discard it. Okay? Even Form 2s can tell discard. It will delete it or remove it. Now, that means when you do your notes, when you write your notes on Monday, you must make sure you revise by Wednesday. And you do the same. Before the next 2-3 days, you must make sure that you revise. After you've revised, it's important for you to consult a textbook. Now, this is the time for you now to check in a textbook. Did I get this correctly? And is it the correct thing? So that when you can correct it, you can be able to tell yourself, I have done the correct thing. One of the major things is checking with fellow students. And last time, I don't know how many, I wish I had some more time. I would have asked you whether some of you have improved. We agreed that when you go back to school, you even check your friend's book. And I told you when you check your friend's book, your eyes become stimulated. You can also ask your friend to show you so that you can look at their book and you can look at their notes and you can make sure that if you missed out anything, you can be able to rectify it. Now, let's move to one section that is very, very important, and that is answering questions in exams. Look at these words that are here. And I've only put a few words. You must be careful with what the question is being asked, with the way the question is asked in the examination. Pay attention to each of the words. State, describe, explain 6 reasons. Describe, define, okay? Define, and this must be very clear to you. Now, other than the answering questions, because I wanted us to move a bit fast so that we'll try one of them. I want you to try to put this 7 in somewhere in your notes. Now, you only listen well in class if, number 1, you have completed all assignments. Yes. You see, the teacher is teaching something different, and you did not write notes for the previous lesson. It becomes very difficult. 2, you must have reviewed your notes. 3, you must be emotionally ready for the teacher. What is emotionally ready? This is where I like telling students the way a teacher comes in. And you have already decided, I don't like this teacher. So when the teacher comes in, you are like, I don't like this teacher. I don't like this subject. Immediately you don't like the teacher and the subject, your mind automatically switches off. You need to be very careful there. You must be disciplined and respectful. Now you can tell why we have very disciplined students here. And I can tell, you must be performing very well in your exams, isn't it? How many are performing very well here? Put up your hands if you are performing very well, so that I can tell. Who is performing very well? Who had a B and above? B and above. Mwalim, you can see. Why? A disciplined student is respectful. And a disciplined student is able to organize their work very well. Okay? Now, having said that, so make sure that you remember this 7. The respect and the discipline. Let's talk a bit about interest. Because the Form 2s might want to ask, how do I develop interest in a particular subject? Now, it is very, very important for you to first of all develop interest in school before you can develop interest in a subject. And you must also start thinking about your career. You must be thinking what you want to do in the future. Now, I want to tell you something that will make you a bit comfortable. It is okay for you if you are thinking, I want to be a lawyer today. Tomorrow you think, I want to be a doctor. The next day you think, I want to be an accountant. It happens because you are young. But with the time, you will be able to develop interest in a particular area. But let me tell you this. It is important that you work hard in all subjects. Why? You might decide not to perform well in one subject today, then tomorrow you find yourself saying, I want to do this. I want to tell you this. I teach at the university, and I thank Mr. Kibiru that he had told me that I teach at the university. Students come and tell me, I wanted to do accounts, but I did not do well in mathematics because I didn't think it was important. It can be too late. Some students also go to do engineering, and then they decide, by the way, I've changed my mind. I want to do accounts. Some go to do engineering, and then they say, I've changed my mind. I want to do to do medicine. So it is very, very good for you to develop interest in school in all subjects. Now, listening, which we have now done so much about, I've paid a lot of attention today to listening because this is where Form 2s and 3 fail out. Look at the student looking at the machine here. Look at them. They are paying attention. And not just paying attention, but noting several things. I've also put for you a few things here about being attentive, eye contact, listening to what the teacher is saying, and also writing important points and the exercises. Okay? You cannot be daydreaming. Students who are daydreaming cannot be listening. And that's why it is important for you. Last time I told you, if you get tired in class, what do? You stretch, isn't it? And we agree that you make sure that you keep stretching and not doing your own things. I want at this point to say something about mathematics. And then we are going to use mathematics for us to do an exercise, isn't it? Now, number 1, mathematics is learned by practice. If you don't practice in mathematics, you will fail. Students come to see me. In fact, even after this, students come and see me and say, I am doing very poorly in mathematics. The reason is you are not practicing. When the teacher has given an exercise, you must practice. You must also remember that every lesson builds on the previous lesson. And you must be able to make constant review and follow directions. You must also work neatly and show your work and formulas. I was thinking, Mr. Kibiru, that at this point, we do 1 or 2 exercises in mathematics so that we can see whether we can tell. And I think we should do this too. Yes. Why don't we try this too? Even if you're in Form 2 and 3, if you have not covered this, don't worry. But let's do this. Let's do this exercise now. Question 1 and question 2. Let everybody get their book or a pen or pencil, and they do this 2 mathematics sums. We see whether we can get them right and whether we have learned anything. Okay? Question 1 and question 2. Question 1 has 5 marks. Question 2 has 5 marks. Okay? Is there anybody who can't see? Oh, good. Okay. Everyone can see. Okay. You are finished. You have already finished. Question 1. You finish. You do question 1 and 2. Both of them, yes. You do question 1 and 2. So how many have finished number 1? Okay, very good. So those ones have finished number 1. The others have not finished. Is this one covered in Form 2? Can Form 2 be able to do number 1? Mr. Kepiru, can Form 2s be able to do number 1? Form 2s can be able to do number 1? Okay, and number 2? Okay, good. Then we will have to you have to do it then. Okay. So how many have done number 1? Okay. Number 2? Hey, you have to do both. You have to do both. Okay. And then Then Mr. Kibiru, we should have someone try for us number 1, isn't it? Yes, okay. Mike, where is the mic? Yes, very good. You are the first one. Okay. Higher. So that's a girl. Okay. Now we have to get a boy to do number 2. A boy. Mwanim, Mr. Kibiru, did we get anyone from up? We need someone from up so that they may be asleep. And we are thinking that they are with us. We have to get a boy from up there. Where is one? Hello. Oh, my. Okay. Now, where is the boy to do number 2? Okay. Then Mr. Kibiru, your son is here. He will do it. Okay. God, go on.
I am Purity Kosgei from Singore Girls, Iten. So you first find the LCM of 40 and 42 and 60. You get
go slowly. You first find
the LCM of 60 and 42.
You first of all find the LCM of 60 and
42. You get to be 420. And the question said that you find the area in meters squared, the least area. So you square the LCM you have gotten, and you get to be 176,400 centimeters squared. And because the question asked for, you find the area in meters squared, you change. You say 1 meter squared is equals to 10,000 centimeters squared. Then you divide by 10,000, you get the answer to be 17.64 meters squared.
Is she correct? Is she correct? So, okay, we are waiting for those who are saying she's correct to clap for her. Very good. Mr. Kibiru, Her name is who? Her name and school. Yes, yes. Your name and school, yes. Yes.
My name is Purity Kosgei from Singore Girls High School.
Yes. Mr. Kibira, I thought you would give her a book. She has done very well, yes. Yes, well, you're very good, yes. She has done very well. Then let her get a book, then you answer number 2. Okay, wait, Mr. Kibira, there is a photo for the nice girl, yes.
I'm telling her she's cleverer than me. I was still struggling with the question.
Okay,
and the way she explained so easily. Thank you. The name again?
Purity Kosgei.
Purity, thank you very much and congratulations.
Okay. Now, Mr. Kibiru, we have question 2 from a boy, yeah? Okay.
So the question, I haven't written the question down, but I'm just going to. My name is Brian Kimeli, Bungoma Branch, Alliance High School. So the question was asking about the measurements was 41, 21, and 15.5. That is with its length and. So because the thickness between the thickness of the material is 5 millimeters. So that 5 millimeters you will divide by 10 to be 0.5 centimeters, and then you multiply by 2 because of those 2 spaces. So you will subtract from 41 and 21, that is width and length, so that you get 40 centimeters in length and 20 centimeters in width. But the external height will remain the same because of that, because there will be no space in between. So to get the height is usually the volume of a base area, which I got the height 10 centimeters. That is internal height. And then external height is 15.5. So I took 15.5, subtract 10, and then I got 5.5. That's the height above the water level, above the water.
So what is the answer?
5.5.
5.5. Yes. Okay. Goja. Is that correct? Is that correct? Wait. Is that correct? No, if it is correct, people are clapping. If it is not correct, someone is studying and saying, this is the correct answer. Okay, if it is not correct, who will tell us the correct answer? So we agree it is correct and we clap for him. Wait. Is it correct? No, Mr. Keviro, I want you to see. Is it correct?
If you say it's not correct, then get to the mic.
Get the mic. If you think it's not correct, you get the mic. Okay, in one, okay, get the mic.
Here you are. Pass this one over to him.
Okay. This is good. You can also be cherished. Okay. Yes, okay, you can come. Yeah, you can come here. Okay. Good.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
My name is Jarso Denge from Nakel High School. We are told the external height of that rectangular is 41. The length is 41. The width is 21 centimeter, and the height is 15.5 centimeter. And you are told the thickness is 5 millimeter. So you divide that 5 milliliter by 10, you got 0.5 centimeter. So I subtract my length. I multiply 0.5 times 2 is 1 centimeter. I subtract 41, 1 centimeter. I got, so internal height 40 centimeter. So also I subtract 21 centimeter, 21 the width, 1 centimeter. I got 20. So the height, I subtract 0.5 because there is no, for height you are supposed to only subtract. You don't multiply that 0.5 because it is now not the space, the height. I mean that the height will remain the same. So, and you are told the container holds 8 liters. That 8 liters, you change it into centimeters. You multiply by 1,000, you got 8,000 centimeter cube. So the volume you find it is 40 by 20 by 15. You got 12,000 cm cubed minus 4,000. Minus 8,000. You got the remaining volume 4,000 cm cubed. So now you are told the height above the water. You said the volume is length times width times height. So my length is 40 centimeter, the width is 20, and the height, you will say it is h. So 40 times 20 times height, which is h, is equals to 4,000. So my height will be 4,000 divided by 40 times 20. I will got 5 centimeter.
So the answer is?
5.
5. Wait. Okay. Now, Mr. Kebiro, I like this. Is the answer 5 or a 5.5? Okay, now. You know, okay, you need to start there because Mr. Kebiro needs to give one of your book. Okay, now start there. Now, Mr. Kebiro needs to give one of your book now. Who is the answer 5 or a 5.5? Okay, who says 5? 5? Okay, 5.5. So, Mr. Kebiro, the majority, now you make the decision. The answer is 5, isn't it? Yes, I go ahead. So, okay, so you, because of trying, we will also give you a book. Then we show you, yes. Now, you have to go near there, and Mwalimu will give you a book. The big teacher will give you a book. So,
what is most impressive about them, the two of them,
yes,
is the skills in explaining.
Yes, very good.
And now, very convincing.
That is why we are giving both of, thank you, Mwalim, the skills in expressing themselves. Thank you.
Perfect. I'm very impressed. When you want to say 5, you are voting without knowing how they arrived at 8. And for those who have got the books, please make sure that you see Daktari so that he can autograph for you before he leaves, all right?
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Mm-hmm. And we clap for all of us for concentrating. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Asante. Now, let's capture what these students have taught us. And please, let's take seriously what they have said. Now, let's go to number 1. The first question was, a square room is covered. Now, I want you to notice something very interesting. This question requires you. That's why I like the girl started with LCM. This question requires you to have knowledge of LCM. And then you apply it in solving the problem. If you don't know the issue of LCM, you already missed it. And she said, you get the LCM of 60, which is 2 squared times 3 times 5. Then you get the LCM of 42, and that is 2 times 3 times 7. So the side of the room will be 2 squared times 3 times 5 times 7, isn't it? Which is 420 centimeters. And then the least area now, you divide it by 4.2 meters times 4.2, which is 17.64. Now, this is, I want you to see why I liked what she said most. She was able to remember the question says, calculate the least possible area of the loom in square kilometers. In square meters. Sorry, yes, thank you. In square meters. Thank you for that. In square meters. Thank you for that. Now, why is that important? Most students fail in mathematics because they do not read the instructions. Now, why did I give you question 2? And that's why I have really liked it. Question 2 is a bit more complicated. The first thing is, the question tests on volume and capacity. Unlike the first one, which was on LCM, this one now I've made it more complicated. It's a test on volume and capacity. 2, you are required to use the knowledge of finding to use the knowledge to find the volume of a cube and the capacity to answer the question. In number 3, which is what I really liked with the 2 boys, which is very nice, you must visualize the aspect of the thickness of the container. Now, that is now where the problem comes. So when you come now to this, that's why I've drawn for you the container there. In mathematics, the first thing you do is you look at the information provided to you. The external width, length, width, and height have been provided. 41, 21, 15.5. Which I really like. They actually got it. The second thing is the thickness of the material making the container, 5 millimeters. And then the third thing is the container has 8 liters of water. So you are supposed to calculate the internal height above the water level. So you have to be able to visualize a cube. If you don't visualize the container, that is where you would miss out. You have to get the internal dimensions. It's 41 centimeters, but the thickness is, like the boy explained very well, it is 5 millimeters, 5 millimeters. So it comes to 40, 20, and 15. And then you remove the volume of the water so that you can be able to get the 5 centimeters. What have you learned in mathematics? 1, it is the ability to pay attention. 2, it is the ability to look at the information provided. Very few students can get this question correct. Why? Because they do not look at the information provided. It is when you look at the information provided that you are able to do it. And then you show the way you are working. What have we learned about our mathematics? We have learned that it is important for us to read and understand the question. You must be very careful with concepts. Why must you be very careful with concept? The brain works in patterns. So you must be able to know what you are being asked for you to be able to provide it. And then you must be able to look at the details that are provided. And you must move in steps, one step at a time. If you miss one step, you cannot get the other one correct. And that is why, in this case, if you miss out on the one step on the 5 millimeters, the thickness, you will miss out on the 15.5, which you have to remove the 5 so that you have 15. Now, the units are also very, very important for you to get it. So that is why the 40, 20, and 15 are important, because you have to convert the 41, 21, 15.5. Only a very keen student can tell 5 millimeters will be twice for 41 and 21, but only once for the 15. And this is now where your ability to concentrate becomes important. Very good. Now, having said that much, we also need to move beyond the mathematics to the sciences. The sciences also require you to be very keen. Parts of a microscope. You must be very keen. The teacher is teaching the parts. You must be very, very careful to tell the parts yourself. And you must be able to also understand the terms that are being used by the teacher. Now, you must also be able to define them and know the proper formula that you should be able to apply. And then you must also have the language and the correct spelling to give the terms. That is why you find a student being asked, define or make a distinction between these two terms, and they fail. There's something I've put in there. There are sentences that is very, very important. In science lessons, you must be able to pay attention to the procedure. Yes. Mix this chemical with this. Write down the reaction. Each step must move to the next step. If one step misses, you miss out completely. Now, the other thing that we must also remember is the practical. The practicals. Yes. How do you carry out the practicals? The proper use of apparatus, the precautions to make, the accurate observations. This is where you have to be very careful, even when the teacher is saying, this is what you observed. In many examinations, it says, mix chemical A with chemical B. Write down the reaction. Many students don't even write the reaction. They write what they know and follow the instructions. And the other one is the data. When you have told measure from point A to 2 in centimeters square or whatever, you need to be very careful so that you get the correct measurement. Now, I think we can now do a few suggestions for improved study as you prepare your question, so that you can prepare yourself if you have a question, so that we can do them. I think we have already agreed. We agreed last time on 4 things. One, we agreed you do what? What did we agree last time? You said it very well. I will attend. I will attend. You said I will attend class. I will do my assignments. I will review. And 4, I will seek help when I can. And then what else did we say? We say that you must also be able to allocate time for all subjects. Very good. You must be able to allocate time for all subjects. We also said something about ourselves and our personality. We agreed, now that we have formed 2s and 3s, we must now start doing an analysis of ourselves. You must ask yourself, where am I performing? Where am I having a problem? What problems do I have? I hope none of you is having indiscipline problems. There are times you have indiscipline problems with the students, and it is very unfortunate. Even at the university, we have students who are suspended for indiscipline cases. You must be very careful with the company that you keep. You must keep track of your performance. Where are you performing well? Where are you not performing well? Some of you like sports a lot and extracurricular activities a lot. That is good. But you must also remember your goal in life. You must also perform well in academics for you to do well. The other thing that you must also remember is you must remember your weakness and your strength. Like, where do you have a weakness in this subject? I like this one. I'm easily influenced by friends. Some people, when they go to school, they forget where they come from. Especially when you have come from such a program like this one, where you have been sponsored. And then when you go to school, you forget why you are there. It is very, very unfortunate. You must not forget where you came from. You must not forget who you are. And you must not forget why you are in school. I am good in reading, but lazy, or lack interest in a subject. You know, some people are just lazy. They like when things are going on, but they don't want to do anything. So you need to be very careful with your personality so that you can be able to make a better person of yourself. We have talked about memory. I've emphasized a lot on the thing for you to improve on your reading and for you to keep reading several times for the notes to get into your mind. The other thing I want to emphasize is a few things like the timetable, the time for reading, even when you are at home, like during the August holidays and the December holidays. Okay? The subject that you can find best to study. You need to look for a place to read. Yes. You need to look for a place to read. You can see my friend here is falling down because he's not seated very comfortably. So you need to be very careful how you sit. You must sit comfortably. Carry the necessary books, a pen, a pencil, paper, and water. We agreed last time that you must learn to switch off the phone. I was listening to Mr. Kibiru telling you about the phone. And he was saying you must switch off your phone. And you see, it's interesting the way we don't concentrate on our work simply because we are listening to some music or some water. We are watching a video. I was trying to tell you a joke, which I will tell you about this man. There is this man who sings barua. Barua. Barua mingi nimeandika. Is it true? And then he sings, and then there is this beach. He goes to the beach, and then now you are looking at the water. And then he continues, barua mingi nimeandika. You know, so you are reading your book there. how parts of a microscope. Barua mingi nimeandika. Parts of a microscope. You know, the mind switches off because you are already, our mind likes something we call comfort zone. So when you're listening to some music, the mind likes to settle down there. Why? It's better, it's easier, and it's more comfortable. And now as you're listening to him, you know, you watch the beach, and you're looking at the water at the beach, and you are like, yeah, this is beautiful, this is nice. So the mind becomes captivated by the nice sceneries, and you forget where you were reading. The best thing is, if you want to listen to some music, during the break, your 1 hour rest, switch on the music, listen to 1 or 2 songs, then you go back. Okay? That allows you to concentrate. If you are making a phone call, make the phone call, finish, and then you come back to your studies. Now, that allows you to take important breaks. And that is why it is important to turn off the cell phone, the radio, and the television to allow you to concentrate. It's one of the major things that we have to keep telling students. There are a few things that I would like you also to remember that now that so that you can be able to ask a few more questions. Now, making sure that the chair is comfortable. A bad chair can cause you discomfort. In fact, a bad chair can actually spoil your back. So you need to be very careful. And then you select it carefully. Sit where you are comfortable. Don't sit on a very comfortable chair. Why? You can actually tend to sleep. You tend to sleep when you are seated very comfortably. Now, let's call it considerably comfortable. Yeah, too much comfort is not good for your health. There is one more thing I would like to mention there. Avoid interruptions. Yeah, study in a quiet, nice place where you can avoid as many interruptions as possible. Here I would like to emphasize 3 things. 1, the timetable. Yeah, it's important for you to have a personal timetable, especially when you are at home. At school, you have the other timetable. And I would like you to include 2 things. Time for your own personal study and time for group work. Yeah, it's good for you to run with other students so that you can be able to improve on your work. Let's mention a few things about these ones because students find them very important. A shower. Yes, it's nice for you to take a shower, even if it is with cold water. I know people don't like taking a shower a lot, especially when it is cold. But a shower in the morning and in the evening makes you feel refreshed. Okay, sleep enough. Okay, eat enough food, but not too much. Some people want to eat too much, and then, of course, remain focused in your work. Now, where can you read, especially now that you are at home? I'd like you to look for a comfortable place where you can be able to read. Not all of you come from rich families where you have a table room or a reading room. But you can get to the library, some of you. Some people read in their own kitchen. Some people can get a classroom. Some people can actually read in the near. Some of the churches and mosques allow you to read somewhere where you are comfortable. I mean, the best thing is look for where you are most comfortable. Some people use their own bedroom, but you need to be careful. Don't sit on the bed. When you sit on the bed, the mind says sleep. I can see some people are laughing when I say bedroom because they tend to sleep immediately. Okay. Now, the best time to study is in the morning. Yeah. Why in the morning? Because the mind is more fresh. And this is also very important because you have just taken a rest. The mind is very comfortable. And also difficult topics are studied in the morning. Now, the other thing I have emphasized is the group work, which I would really like you to take interest in. Why is it important for you to study in groups? Because you remember the information better when you study with your close friends. At the end of the study and the group work, you must sit for your exams, okay? And I only want to say 1 or 2 things about the exams. You must sit for your exams, and you must be very strategic in your exams. After all that reading, you must perform well. And the way to perform well is to take interest not just in your reading, but in the examination as well. And that is why To do well, you must do three things. One, you must have good knowledge of the subject. That one I have already done it for you, but more than me, it's the teacher. You need to go to make sure that all that you have been learning in school is well in your mind through your revision and through the work that we've talked about today. Then two, you must have a strategy for taking the exam. I'm going to come to that in a short while. But three, you must read the instructions. I don't know why this is the most difficult part of all students, especially in Form 2 and 3, reading the instructions provided. And that's why I would like you to carry this word called action with you. Action. Action means, A, arrive in time for the examination. I know it is the best joke that I teach whenever I'm talking about study skills, and I say arrive in time. People look at me and they are like, that is too obvious. Let me tell you what happens when you get to the examination late. Our mind works like a computer. If I had more time, I would have got a computer here, then I switch it on. When you switch on the computer, it takes time to open. So when you reach the examination room, your mind takes time to open. So you need to to get to the examination room, and then you sit down. When you sit down comfortably. You can even take a deep breath. So when you take a deep breath, you sit down and you are comfortable. When you are comfortable, the examiner or the person giving the papers comes in and passes the papers around. You are getting more and more relaxed. So when you get your examination paper, you pick it and you are able to look at it. And you do two things. First, you read the instructions. Two, you start doing the examination. Now, this is now where it is important, and I have emphasized it. Because like I said, I want you to ask questions. Why is that important? When you arrive late for the examination, you find everybody seated doing the examination. So, your mind tells you to start writing. An examination is not about writing. It's about answering questions. So because you're not comfortable, your mind starts writing without thinking what you are writing. And that's why sometimes you see students who come late for an examination, they write so much, then at the end they are like, I have written the wrong thing. So make sure you arrive early and in good time for an examination. Please carry an extra pen or paper. It helps so that if one doesn't write, you can use the other one. Take your seat or position and so that you can be able to relax. Don't start looking for your chair the last minute. Then 4, instructions. Instructions. Now, this one I have to emphasize. Question 1 is compulsory. Question 1 has 30 marks. You did not answer it. You forfeit 30 marks. You must read the instructions and read them carefully. You must organize your work. And then you must be neat and orderly. Please, concentrate on your work and avoid cheating. You know, the worst thing in an examination is when you are caught and then you start saying, I wasn't cheating. I was looking. What were you looking for? And you know, some of you keep saying, I was looking, I was thinking, I was staring. Concentrate on your work. And that is all I would like to say on examinations. Arrive on time, carry an extra paper and pen, take your seat, read the instructions, organize your work and work neatly. And my last question would be, why do students panic in a test or an examination? It is because because of lack of preparation. Thank you. Even my friend next day is telling me, because they have not prepared for the examination. You are going to prepare yourself very well, right from Form 2 and Form 3. It is important for you to continue start with the questions that are easier. Why is it important for you to start with the questions that are easier? Because it allows the mind to relax. So when you relax with the time, you can actually go back to the other questions that you found difficult. And because now you have gained confidence in yourself, you actually are able to remember other items and you can continue with the examination. And that way, you will do very well in the examinations. Plan your time. Begin each question where it is supposed to be. You know, this is what you find interesting. You find a student who has been writing a question where it is not supposed to be. Okay? And then work neatly. Remember to write your registration number or your index number as required. I wish you success in your exams. I wish you success not just in Form 4, but first of all in Form 2, in Form 3. Those who are Form 3s, we will be doing the exams next year. Those who are Form 2s in 2 years' time. I wish you success. I want you to work hard. And I want you to promise me that you will do so well. Promise? Okay then, I want you to clap for yourself to tell me that you will be doing very well. And thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Daktari. Thank you because of that marathon. In the marathon, I was checking to see whether mko pamoja or whether you are just mesmerized. And I also confirmed, Daktari, that the boys were taking